Trust the Force, Luke.
Sometimes truth isn't good enough.
I feel the need for speed.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
Because it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
Everybody, welcome back. It's Wednesday. Wednesday is my favorite day of the week because Wednesday means FrostCast, your one-stop shopping for all of the worst takes you're going to find online on anything nerd and geek related, from movies to shows to video games and fast food, because we talk about fast food a lot here. I don't know why we do that, but we do. But without any further ado, just saying hello to everybody. Welcome back. We're here every night. You had to imagine that. We're every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday
nights at 9 Eastern for FrostCast. Check out the channel. Winter Wolf's Den. We have a hefty backlog of stuff for you newcomers to sit through. Lots of horror movie, lots of fantasy, lots of show talk. Come by and check that kind of stuff out. Do us a favor before you head out, though. Please tickle the like button. Maybe share a video or two with some friends that like those kind of things. And consider maybe becoming a member if you like what we do here. Check out the stream for a little while. And if you feel like you're vibing and having fun, you're welcome to lurk. You're welcome to participate. You're welcome to give us the $2 a month to become a member at the Stars and Stone level. We're happy to have your engagement any which way you'd like to provide it. And as you'll see, we definitely like to keep the chat lively, spirited, and moving. And without any further ado, we will welcome Warden Prime himself. Pape is already here, nice and on time. Pape brought up a good thing in a comment earlier, King. I don't know if you had seen it. He wanted us to do a do-over on the pizza poll. I told him we would take it under advice because we'll probably review it. He said that instead of one of the options, we should have just had an all the above, like a neutral ground situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not bad.
But speaking of polls, tonight's poll's already up in the chat.
And you are all kinds of, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
No, hold on. Let me do the double check. I just took the phone off Bluetooth.
All right, so let me tell you.
Here we are. That was it. I did my thing.
The poll is already up in the chat, so go ahead. Today's question is, which supernatural horror franchise is your favorite?
All righty, what do we got for options down there? Because I know you and I had a back and forth on that, and I'm not sure where we landed.
Conjuring, Insidious, Paranormal Activity, and Other. And if you hit Other, make sure to leave a comment so we know what you're talking about.
Because this was the poll where I wanted to stick. What did I want to stick in there at that fourth spot? Terrifier, and you were like, the vibe's not the same.
Yeah, it's because that's not supernatural. That's a slasher.
It's getting supernatural. We wait until part 4 comes around. There's some their director, writer, producer, Damien Leone has mentioned it being that this is the last one. He wants to get into the world and how there's a biblical connection. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how you really look at it, it's still going to be a slasher. Just like Freddy Krueger had supernatural things, but it's a slasher. For sure. Jason kept coming back after being chopped to death. Supernatural, but it's still a slasher.
The ones we have here are all ghost stories. You had suggested maybe putting Sinister in there as the fourth pick. I love the first movie. The second movie is a can of overwarm, fetid, rotten dog poo. So it's not really a franchise in my eyes. Where the rest of these, though, like how many Paranormal Activity movies are there now? Like 8. Like it's prolific how many of these that got made. So yeah, dude, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna throw my own little votey vote in here. Boop. There we go. We'll take a look at that later on, because I think one of our topics tonight is just kind of talking about the Conjuring verse. There's a verse. There's movies that aren't on the poll that are part of the Conjuring, and a lot of people I think don't keep track of those kind of details, but we're going to talk about those, so stick around for the horror talk if that's more of your speed.
But first things first, we gotta do the thumbnail story of the day.
Yeah, do we have to? Because I was trying to think of like a great way to segue into Alien Earth, and the best I could come up with.
We are professionals, opinion givers, sitting on YouTube with a very loyal following, and loyal, and they deserve it. And they deserve it.
Well, that being the case, then Alien Earth, the best way I can sum up episode 5 is that I've decided I would rather let a rabid pit bull chew on my testicles than start this show over ever again. Episode 5 did itself no favors, none, in ingratiating me to liking this show. We like our kind of our channel philosophy on these kind of shows is your midway episode and like your episode after that they're literally pivotal. And if you're already heading off the tracks, you probably weren't going to course correct in time to either win anybody back or maybe to sink anybody, really, unless the finale is just bad. Episode 5 is just bad. It's just bad. It's the title of the video is everything. Oh, hey, hold on. I gotta read the red. We got coldest Eskimo. There it goes. I can read things. Sup, winner in the house. Arrived 4 minutes late and had a change with a cousin name Audi's to mine. Welcome back.
Yeah. Glad hopefully Aldi can join us. They had a lot of good input last week.
Well, solid. Indeed a real. But we're just gonna go. I'm just gonna. I read it fast and I am kind of hungry. I did miss dinner running kids around to activities. I read that quick and thought it was coldest steak, and I was like, dude, I'll eat a cold steak. I don't give a flip. I mean, I'll eat a cold steak. I'm up. But dude, Alien Earth. The title of the video, right? Everybody on this show is dumb except Morrow. I just couldn't fit all that in there, but everybody's dumb. And I had a thought that I wanted to get. I wanted to ask you a question before we even discuss the episode, really. Would this show have been better if episode 5 had literally been the pilot?
Yeah, I would definitely say that, because I say what episode 5 really is pointless. That's the easiest way to put it. We knew all this. Why are you reiterating what we already know? They all died. We know this. Why do you have to show me how they died? It's not important to the story. It does not move the plot minus one thing. One thing in that whole thing moved the plot. In that whole 40-minute or 50-minute flop that was completely pointless, one thing moved the plot.
Are you talking about the very end with Morrow and Yutani?
No.
Okay. I would argue that there's then two things. What thing were you talking about? And then I
gotta see that the eye creature and the xenomorph are enemies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's actually probably that's the most interesting thing that happened. I'll give you that. I
Hands
wasn't
down.
expecting that. Yeah. Oh, hey, Afakazi is off to a bang start already, gifting the 1 membership. Welcome back, little brother. We appreciate you being here. You guys have leave us on in the background. Listen to me bitch about this show because it's probably going to be a doozy because there was a lot of yelling at the TV screen. And enjoy your 47-man raid in FF14. Dude, yeah, I somebody had said to me earlier, they were like, what did you think? If this would have been the pilot, would it have mattered? And I'm like, you know why it wouldn't have mattered? Because all it did was exchange one group of pointless characters I didn't like for another group of pointless characters that weren't interesting, that didn't like, and are dumb. You know what I mean? This group of grown-ups that they so desperately want you to think that these clowns are the crew from the Nostromo and Alien. Like, they're not the Marines from Aliens. No shot. I mean, no. Morrow might be all right with that group, but the Marines would eat these clowns for breakfast, right? They want you to think this is the Nostromo crew. Bunch of space truckers, grease-covered coveralls, the lewd dialogue that they didn't really have any. You know what I mean? They wanted that vibe. They ain't that. Not remotely. No. There's no personality with any of these dicks. Not remotely.
I didn't even see where they tried to have them as that, because they're all kind of like, how would I call them? The only one that played off like that was the engineer. These are more people who gave up their lives for the corporation. That's how they play these off.
I meant in terms of the ensemble, like that's what they were going for. That they're deep space. Like, this is just who they are. They gave us here a little bit more ammo with the whole, especially with Morrow, because we saw the implications of that. Where I'm going up there. I'm talking to my 13-year-old daughter or whatever. You're never going to see me again. Like, I won't be back. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm doing this to secure not even generational wealth. Like, it's just to give you something, right?
Yeah.
But none of these characters are likable. They did the naming thing again. They screwed that up so bad that, like, I honestly called that one character Chlamydia for the whole episode because I'm like, I don't remember his real name because it wasn't used 6 episodes ago when this shit started. So there's nothing there to grab onto. I still know Morrow's name.
It doesn't matter if you know his name. He died. Yeah. Everyone died. I mean, there's no point to this episode.
Did you really say it doesn't matter what his name is? Because I'll do the voice. I'm not going to do the voice. I could, but I'm not going to. Yeah, dude, it really doesn't. And it's like you said, it might have been one thing if there was something interesting that brought the ship down, but it's exactly what we were talking about like 3 times previous. Yeah. Nothing interesting brought the ship down. It was sabotage, and we kind of knew that. Yeah, that was kind of our assumption going into the show.
We did get the big reveal that the whole thing was planned to land in Boy Genius's kingdom.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to get to that critically stupid picture part in a minute. Believe that. That's right up there on my list of how dumb this episode is. But we have start to finish all these things that they try to do. And they try to do it in a way that I think they want us to believe that this crew is qualified to do what they do. Like, I'm thinking of the medical and the science folks in particular. Like, the only person that's not incompetent on this show is Morrow, chief of security. Like, their replacement captain. Dude, I hate calling people DEI hires. That broad comes across as a DEI hire. Sorry, I said it. Sorry. Don't know what to do. Banging a crewmate. No accountability.
Yeah. I mean, you could go with that with the scientist. Who eats your lunch around organisms in an open lab?
Nobody.
She's like, she calls the mess hall nasty because homeboy's smoking in it. I'm like, dude, you just sat next to a leech who spit like 700 larvae into your water. But yeah, that place is disgusting.
Dude, I get it. The only time you get away with that scene, it's kind of a trope. If you go back and you look at like 80s slashers, like coroners do that all the time. Like, they're always working graveyard shift, eating half a sandwich while doing an autopsy. But that's like a vibe for like those kind of dopey horror shows and movies. This show wants you to take it serious, that it fits within the upper echelon of like Alien and Aliens. And some people would add Romulus. I won't. You know what I mean? But they want to be considered up there. But you're exactly right. They don't pull off. They don't understand why that works elsewhere. You know, and you can go right back to the OG Alien and be like, oh, when they brought which crew member got the face hugger?
2 of them did. Oh, an Alien.
In the original, who got the face hugger? Can't remember the character's name on top of my head. But when Dallas and Ash went into work on him, dude, they were gloved up. They had the surgical gown on. They had the face mask on. They treated it like a sterile surgical procedure. These clowns, these effing clowns, are in there doing their diagnostics. Like you said, dude, one of them smoking. The other one's got a cup of fucking coffee. Kane, thank you, Pape. Kane, thank you, appreciate you. Like, they're in there like it's no big deal, right? And then this asshole decides they're gonna do the emergency surgery. I'm like, you know what? If your ass gets rolled into an ER, shot up 17 times, or mangled in a car wreck, you know what they do right when they're taking you into emergency surgery? They still scrub up to work on you. Mm-hmm. You know, the nurses that greet you through the door, they're still throwing gloves on to stop the bleeding, no matter what. That's just how it got. Dude, you've served time in the military. Did you touch a lot of blood without gloves on? If all circumstances could prevent it? No, you don't, because it's stupid.
Well, one, I never had to deal with someone actually injured where there's blood. Sure. Most of the stuff I thought was the dehydration, coach.
You died of the dehydration. I was just a little baby. I'd have brought my dad some water. Anyway, sidetrack. Now, Adam Sandler in this would have made it better. I could have seen it because he could have done the whole information.
Anything would make it better.
He could have done the whole information useful to me yesterday thing. That would have fit in so many places here.
I mean, let's take
a vibe
cast of put them in this and add Vince Vaughn.
Then sold. You know, so not to belabor the med bay part, but like, they open this dude up, no anesthetic, you know, no topical antibiotic agents, anything like that. They cut him open, right? They observe what they're trying to do, like we see leeches or ticks or whatever, and then they just
leeches. They called them
whatever they called them.
No, they called them ticks.
They call them ticks. They look like leeches, but they call them ticks, right? And like, he pulls one off. It ruptures and like instantly gasses them both at like short range. I'm like, well, that's another good reason you don't stick your face over a surgical wound while you're working on it. You know, so
that's why you wear a mask.
You wear a mask, right?
It's the proper time to wear a mask.
Kind of right there. They die gruesomely, but not so gruesomely. They hit the emergency quarantine protocol that you could argue, I guess, maybe kills them. The 2 humans, the 3 humans.
Because it's like that.
Doesn't kill the bugs though.
Doesn't kill the bugs.
Let's kill the bugs.
Because we found out that all the bugs on there, including the xenomorph, can live outside the spaceship.
Now, I knew the Xeno could because they do something with that in Romulus. So I don't have a challenge flag prep for that. I had one for a little bit, but I don't.
Do you have one for that they already knew what a xenomorph was 2 years before the original
No clue.
movie?
No clue how they had that name picked out ahead of time. None. Zero, zilch, nada. Don't. Nope.
Because wasn't the first Alien the first time they actually seen a xenomorph?
Yes.
So how does 2 years in the future the first time humans see xenomorphs, but it they already had
the first time you hear the name isn't even until Aliens. Gorman uses it first when he's addressing the troops in the hangar bay. The xenomorph. The what, sir? Xenomorph. Is this a bug hunt? That whole scene? That's the first time you hear the word. You know, that's not something that they ever really threw down. Right? But to get back to Aliens is perfect. There's no flaw in Aliens. That's a movie near and dear to my heart. The first two is an awesome artistic piece of cinema. Aliens is my jam because it does all of that stuff and ratchets up the gunplay, which it needed. It needed to go in that direction. But these people are morons. Like even Morrow, to a degree, is dumber here for plot reasons than his character is. Like when he has to investigate the possible sabotage, he rolls the videotape back not to see who entered the cargo bay that just also happens to have like the circuit breaker that controls engineering, that controls propulsion, that controls life support, and like three other things.
How is that junction going through a storage unit?
No idea.
When engineering's all the way in the back.
Don't know. No idea. Anyway, right? So he only rolls it back to his buddies fighting the fire so we can get the benefit of watching the face huggers get him. I'm like, bro, how did you just not roll it back until you saw somebody that wasn't authorized to be in there and see who it was? Like, why are you people so stupid? I honestly don't get it. There's a way to do all of this smart, and they actively chose not to do any of it. None of it.
No, none
of
it.
Nah, we're not doing that today. We're good. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
let's throw common sense out the window.
No, dude, out the airlock like it was the Expanse and it committed a petty crime. And they're like, nah, fuck it, space them.
They're thinking that common sense might actually take a part of their share.
And dude, as we saw, tell me this kid, the engineering apprentice, is he not the dumbest motherfucker in this universe, in this combined universe? Is he not the stupidest?
So they took Florida man and bred him with West Virginia, and then threw him down and got his education in down in the Delta.
Yeah, and had him do nothing cool like standing in a hurricane with an American flag and like a bottle rocket launch.
Yeah,
like he did none of that.
He didn't even have a mullet. He deserved a mullet.
He had a stupid hat. He had a stupid hat in a lot of it.
And he likes to eat.
He likes pie. You would think maybe there was some subtext to that pie scene. There wasn't. Nope. It was just stupid. You know what that was? That scene was, if you remember from Rings of Power, that was Galadriel. That was the Galadriel's brother explaining to her why the boat floats and the rock doesn't. That was that scene. Like if you have one pie and you split the pie in half and save half for later, that half is a whole. I like pie. There are many kinds of pie, as Afghani Gaming will tell you.
Team Lime is the bomb. I'll give you that.
Key Lime is that. Dude, Paul.
Okay.
Pie types.
Paul for the future. Favorite pies.
Yeah, favorite pie type, and we already know that Key Lime's going to win because it's got 3 votes already. Yeah, this stupid son of a bitch has nothing smart to say
ever
in any scene that he's in. Has he done anything in both of these episodes? No, he died. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all these assholes dying. Right? I've seen all week I've seen since yesterday.
Since yesterday.
People telling me this is a classic return to Alien. In fact, the recap article that I have open right here, so I can keep track of like scenes we're gonna do. It's like the title of the article is Alien Earth finally gives in and becomes an Alien movie.
No, it doesn't.
I find that offensive, right?
This becomes a sick parody of an Alien movie.
Exactly. This is an Alien movie as written by a bunch of 7th graders who listen to guys like us tell them what Alien was. That's exactly what this is. Oh, there's a captain and gets a face hugger. Got it. There's a xenomorph and air ducts. Got it. There's a synth or a cyborg that's got to investigate and get everybody to safety. Got it. The only thing this didn't have was the ship's engines were going to rupture and explode.
And no warrant officer.
Right. Or anybody making any intelligent fucking decisions. It definitely didn't have
warrant
that.
Officer.
Exactly. We have one of those.
The designated warn officer
right.
in this show.
These assholes dying, and to go back to the people's opinion on it being alien, I'm like, I'll give you this looks like Alien because I think the only good thing I can say about this show is you can tell they went out of their way to make something look period specific to like Weyland Yutani, to the Nostromo, to like that future retro tech vibe thing that they did, the big analog computer displays in the mother room and stuff like that. Like they got.
You mean the old dad garage TV?
Yeah.
The baseball TV as their monitors.
The monitor is like 8 inches, but like the frame around it and the whole box itself is like 4 feet wide. Yeah, exactly that.
Is that old TV they used to hit on and that worked on the car and listen to the ball game on?
Exactly. They got that. They got none of the other stuff right. They didn't even get the body horror right at this part. And this is the part that slays me. We know this show isn't afraid to pull its punches when it gets around to murking people because we get the bougie party that got destroyed in the apartment. Yeah, we got the two security officers that got the ticks on the neck thing. CRT monitor, just
CRT. But
CRT.
They even looked worse than CRT. I think CRT was more high tech than what they were showing.
Yeah, see the monitors in this world would be like negative 480p, like they would just work in reverse.
I think they're monitors from an old closed mall from the 80s.
It could be refurb, painted yellow, tan. The thing they get wrong in this episode is the body horror, is the disgustingness, right? We had every opportunity here to get something super gross from multiple character deaths because this was it. Nobody was surviving this episode besides Morrow, right?
Yeah, which we already knew.
So engineering kid throws up some Kool-Aid. Okay. And it looked like Kool-Aid. Like it literally looked like thin and pink.
Yeah.
It was not a good effect. Not a good blood effect.
They could have did a lot better. I have a great special effects makeup person who makes really good blood. You should hire her. She'd do a better job.
It literally needed some like coffee grounds mixed into it to add texture or something tangible. Like
he just ate some breakfast or something, or that whatever that meal was during the meeting.
It needed anything, right? So that death was pointless. The deaths of the two medical folks doing the autopsy, not the autopsy at that point, but the procedure, pointless. We get some eye bulgy thing. Nope, that was stupid,
dumb.
And even the surgery itself, terrible. Like you opened them up and it looked dry. It looked plastic. It looked like chewing. You remember those old wax candies that have like the little bit of like gusher fluid in them back in the day, and you had to like chew the bottle. They were like soda bottles. Like the inside of that looked like that.
It looks like plastic. When you're doing a low budget horror film and you use nylon and like a balloon to make it look like intestines.
Except this is a $200 million show. Pape's asking, didn't pay that much attention. We did not find out what the plant thing does. We walked by them ominously again, though, in containment.
The only one they played with was once again the ticks and of course and the eye guy.
The eye guy is getting a lot of play. I'm saving him kind of for later because you had a great point pre-show. We'll definitely get to that. Other folks that died in this episode. Everybody in the cryo tubes that didn't wake up. So those are all the bodies that.
Well, at least they died asleep.
Yep, I'll do it. Dude, send me out like that, please.
Yeah.
In this situation.
You know who died and they didn't explain anything about him? Is weird bald Asian dude who just sits there and stares at the one girl. And...
Right. Oh no, yeah. No. They showed what happened. You off screen. The Xeno got him from the grate on top.
Yeah, I know. He died. They never explained why he's so weird and why he stares at her and like
because
plays
again
with her underwear.
Dude, what did I say? Episode effing 1. I said we've got 2 interesting characters on this show. Morrow and the synth guy, right? And the synth guy died in the first episode.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, why would this dude have a fascination with this girl? And then they make it even worse because Morrow during the interrogation's like, I've watched you on the cameras doing your filth while she sleeps. Like, dude, I want to know more about that dude. That sounds sick. Yeah. I want in on that and then Morrow to kill him. Now, interesting character gone. Don't matter. Fuck him. No point on the show. So we didn't get him, right? We got Chlamydia. And to be clear, I mean, that's the character's name. Neither King
the other
or anybody affiliated
guy
with Winter Wolfstein has chlamydia. The other security guy takes like 2-3 bullets and they get shot in the head.
Yep.
It was a CGI headshot. So I'm like, I don't care. Trash. Don't give a shit. Also, question in that situation there, in a gunfight, you've got one guy mortally wounded. He's now disarmed, been dragged behind cover. You've got another guy that was shooting at you, now tending to his wounds. When you pop out of cover, who do you shoot first? The guy you mortally wounded or the guy with the rifle? You shoot the guy with the rifle. That way he can't shoot you.
That's what I just said. The guy tending the wounds.
Oh, tending the wounds. I thought you said the guy that taking the wounds. My bad. Yeah, no. You shoot the threat.
You're there. You're sniping. You shoot the first guy to injure him. They get the second guy out, kill him, and then the other guy, you take him out. I mean, that's Warzone 101.
Right. So this, don't rest. He's not coming for the thirst. Yeah, no. So they get that wrong, which is stupid. But I have to talk more about that character. I got to talk about Petrovich, right? In the span of 8 minutes of this show, they invent the sabotage mystery and solve it with someone we've never met, whose mechanism of why he's a saboteur is the stupidest shit they could have picked. The stupidest effing thing they could have picked.
A full share.
Was not even that. There's motivation. Not even that is the motivation. The mechanism by which it happened was Boy Cavalier just placed a long distance call to a non-company affiliated ship, got a hold of this dude. How did he know him? Did he call the operator on the ship and be like, "Hey, can you put me through to your shadiest dude? Like, I need to make a contact."
1-800 bad guy.
Yeah, I don't get it. So now all of a sudden, this dude, this stupid son of a bitch, is like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I want a robot body. Oh yeah, we can do that. No problem." Dude, King Z in the house. And Boy Cavalier, trillionaire, 1200 IQ, he'd do it himself. He wouldn't have a guy that knows a guy that has a guy through a shell company, through another guy, make that connection. He wouldn't have his butler do that at the very least.
I mean, that's the whole reason you have shell companies. So they can pay these shady people to do shady stuff.
I'm just saying, right? The show wanted you to think they were slick because at least Petrovich, like, deleted records and like altered law. Like, he did some corporate espionage, cover my shit up thing. He wouldn't have thought that the cyborg head of security had basic data recovery skills under his belt to get the files back that had the phone call on tap.
Well, it wasn't even Morrow, the Chlamydia dude. He's like, I already started the process.
Right. I'm saying security in general.
Right. We're talking about mall cops here.
Right. Observe, report, and don't pay no attention. Right.
Yeah.
So they resolved that whole bit.
Or I'll say stop again.
I might pull a quarter off my change belt and call the police. So they give us all of that bullshit, right? That's interminably as stupid. The only thing not offensively stupid about these people, Pape says that was stupid. They made the specific point about the trip being space of lifetime. Kid K would have better. Exactly. There's probably a way to wiggle room how to timeline all this crap. I don't know. I mean, they're on their return trip when this all goes down. So you're right.
So
they probably couldn't do that.
If he sat there and if he knew that a ship left, you could do the math and do the dilation. That's not the far-fetched part. The far-fetched part is that him being from another company could actually call a ship from a rival company.
You could make the call. Probably. I'd even give him that, but I'm like, it's like if you work for Burger King and I work for McDonald's, I can call I can call you, right? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I can't do? I can't get into your computer system. You know what I can't do? Get into your banking records or your schematics and shit like that. And that whole plot point hinges on boy douche knuckle being able to contact somebody through a sensitive system. He wasn't just calling this dude in a space Winnebago. Like it's, Lone Star and the mom.
Gene Roland.
Puke. Barf. Right? Barf. John Candy's barf. He wasn't just calling a random friend. Like, no, he's calling a competitive vessel that has layers of security for their comms, for their computers. It's just dumb. It'd be like the Klingons getting a hold of Picard unofficially. Like, no, you can't do that. It doesn't work.
Klingons could have contacted Picard because Klingons were part of the Federation at that point.
I mean, in the end, they'd have done a red phone thing. A Gowron would have called. Yeah, I'm saying under normal circumstances, random like the Duras family could not have called Picard. No shot. No shot. Not even the sisters. They suck. Giant jumblies, though. Anyway.
All right. So I think we should wrap this up with the few good things that this episode has. So, because we bashed it for a straight 24 minutes.
Good effing luck, because the captain's a jackass. The alien dude. You know why I picked the thumbnail I picked? Like, the Xeno Massacre is the image of the thumbnail. It's so obviously dude in suit that it hurts. I'm like, dude, I get it. They've always had dude in suit for certain scenes, but you know what you do? Dude, he stood up and did this like sachet shoulder, and it's supposed to, I get it, it's supposed to be evocative and like intimidating and some weird, Geiger sexualized kind of movement. I get that. That's what that all does. But it looked fucking dumb, and it's in the most brightly lit portion of the ship. She's in a hallway with like a fluorescent light on full fucking dim, full power. It looked awful, dude. Awful. Dude, cut that brightness by half. You don't got to be AVP Requiem, but you got to kill the brightness and keep this thing looking alien, not dude in Costco Party City suit. I can't, dude. That was god awful. That fake captain was dumb, dude. I got one more dumb. I can't move on. I'm sorry, dude. Executive decision. I got one more dumb thing.
All right, one more dumb thing. Then we move on.
So I'm gonna go back to Alien because Pape was kind enough to remind me that it was Kane that got the face hugger in the OG movie, right? So not only do they go through that entire, do we let them in? Do we not let them in? Ash overrides Ripley's correct decision to not open the door. Like if they had just not opened the effing door and instead initiated immediate quarantine outside into storage or whatever, no movie, no franchise, right?
Send them both in the airlock.
Same, right?
He's dead anyways, bro. He's dead,
when they bring Kane in, they tell you that they went through multiple attempts to remove the face hugger. We tried cutting a leg, or we went to pry a leg and the tail tightened and started to choke him. You know what I mean? So then what do? They try to scalpel one of the knuckles, thinking maybe they could just cut it quick, and that's what revealed the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And this entire process, they don't know that there's something being implanted through his throat. Like they don't talk about scans or anything like that. But like this asshole doctor's first decision was to cut it at the base of the tail and spill enough acid that he basically decapitated his captain.
Yep.
That was the play.
Well, this is the same medical guy who wakes up from cryo sleep and lights a cigarette.
I said in episode 1, I like smoking. I'm not a smoker. I like the vibe that it puts off in movies because it reminds me of like the 80s, 70s, and 80s. I don't like sterile everywhere.
So you did hear that FX is making a new cowboy movie, right? They're doing a Western. They're trying to bring him back. And I found the casting for the horse. Let me show you this.
Here we go. That looks about right. It's from the same effects studio that shot this fucking scene with the Xena. Looks about right. Get that off my screen. That looks creepy. That looks like some shit I would walk away from in a Comic-Con. Just cracking himself up with the furry costumes. Not part of the show. That was not on the itinerary. No. Furries. It can't be. So the doctor slayed me on that. The cap jackass. Mara was right to leave her in the hallway. She was fucking useless.
Yep.
I can't. I can't with these people. And what slays me, right, is I had held out like this back shelf, this back shelf hope that this crew would have been, that we'd have come on this episode tonight on FrostCast Wednesday nights at 9. Thank you everybody for being here, by the way. We appreciate you guys. That I'd have been like, dude, how come this show wasn't about this crew and trying to creatively solve problems and find a saboteur to save the ship so it doesn't crash? And then you piece by piece realize, oh shit, dude, it wasn't a random blowout. Oh shit, it could be any one of you. And then you oh wait, maybe it's somebody whose rotation has them in cryo sleep now. And then they figured out a way that they were able to like calm the monitor, because that line was stupid too. Well, the cryopod says they're full until they're not. Well, but then it doesn't say it's full. You know what I'm saying? I can't get out of my fucking 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe without it telling me to check the fucking back seats for a kid. It turns out it's just my backpack, right? I'm getting that alert in 2025. They're trying to tell me that an effing cryopod would read occupado if it wasn't. Stop it, show. You don't have to be this dumb.
No, we didn't even
don't
go
to
back.
Be fair me. Don't to be fair me.
My 2002 Chevy Blazer turns off the airbag if no one's sitting in the passenger seat.
Right.
You physically have to be sitting. Now we're even going back another like 23 years now from now.
I can't. My car literally tells me check the back seat for kids. That's where we're at in 2025.
That's pretty funny. It's sad that as a society we had to fall that far.
But I'll tell you what chaps my ass, right? That same thing works for the front seat. So if you happen to go grocery shopping and maybe you grab like a case of water or something and threw that on the front seat, the car, not only does it give you the warning, like because it comes up on my dash, it does the ding. It makes a ding like your seatbelt sound. Yep. And I'm like,
It's a case of water.
And there's no way to override that.
No,
for insurance reasons. Like
you just have to sit
if you
there
mess with that,
and just
if you mess with that, you void your warranty.
You're driving.
Right. Bing, bing.
Beep,
No, stop.
beep,
Stop.
beep.
And I can't. I can't with these assholes. They're killing me. And dude, never sell it, dude. Never sell it. Keep that vehicle. You have to keep that vehicle, right? Yeah. So yeah,
Did you cut the seatbelts out? Because that's important. You have to cut the seatbelts out in 1978.
I would have. You know, no power steering either. You could get a good workout driving it around.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. We got to get away from Alien Earth. You mentioned there was a positive though, and then I kind of cut you off. Did you take away anything that wasn't aesthetics or set what did you find?
The eye thing. The eye thing. We actually saw that them and the xenomorph are not friends.
Yeah,
and they used the zombie that it had, which was the engineer guy.
Yep.
And he's out there and he freaking bit the xenomorph.
Oh, dude. I don't want to piss on your parade, right? I wanted to like that so much because I'm like, all right, he wants to throw some fists, but then I'm like, all right, you're an eye. You took over the oldest dude on the boat.
Yeah.
Right. And now all of a sudden you're doing parkour over the consoles and laying rear naked chokes on a xenomorph that's like 8 feet tall. And we know can body
that shot into his body from his tentacles.
Maybe, but could there have been a throwaway line 2 episodes about that in a test subject that got like the goat, the sheep or whatever it was, like maybe it had smashed the glass so we knew, oh my God, how did it?
It did stand up on 2 feet.
No, stop. I wanted to like that. I did like that they fought each other. That was all right.
Bad.
It was and then the captain dies, and I'm like, so the Xeno intermittently knows how to use its tail with lethal intent and then doesn't. Like when she went to draw her gun on it, and it went with the Mortal Kombat tail foot sweep and didn't kill her, and then somehow she got a 100-yard head start on this thing before it chased her, and she was able to outmaneuver it.
Oh, because the fight happened. The fight happened. That's what they had.
No, when they were both in the hallway, when it came up behind her in the thumbnail.
Because she came in, they went into the lab first, and then she took off while they fought, and then he went after her.
I mean, there was a point where she went to draw its gun, and not in wherever the eye guy jumped her. I'm telling you that your continuity, it's you got it mixed up somewhere. Because like there's that scene where it climbs up, it does the slow rise behind her and has her dead to rights. It had her dead to rights, dude. Then you hook him with the tail and you drag him away screaming. You don't go for the foot sweep and then change your mind later at the end of the scene where we get shaky cam as it's slashing her with the tail and then finally kills her. It's just stupid. The plot does what the plot does. It doesn't do anything logically. It doesn't do anything consistently. It doesn't care about your time. It doesn't care about making anything make sense. The show is a massive disappointment. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably a bigger disappointment through 5 episodes than The Last of Us Season 2 has been.
Well, I got words for that. What we could do with this show is the only way to be certain.
True.
Say we take off, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Only way to be sure. Only way to fucking be sure. They can bill me. I love that line. This installation has a substantial dollar value attached to it. They can bill me. I love it. Ripley's no joke. It's not just because of the getaway from her, you bitch. See, she was already a badass before she got in the loader. People forget that. She was already a badass before she got in the loader and saved Newt. Fact. But yeah. All right, that's enough Alien Earth, dude. I'm not going to say I hate this show, but if even you're coming down on it harder than the first 3 episodes, like it's losing its grip on the people that were giving this like the 92s.
It's losing what made it interesting and going with pointless.
And we're back to presumably, right? We're going to see Morrow on the mission to recover the specimens next week. Like that's
and kill Cavalier. Which is the only thing we did root for at the end. We're like, about damn time.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, because he's met Yutani. She's got the Shinobi Praetorian guards in the red with the assault rifles, which was kind of a little racist, I think. Maybe. Did they have to look like ninjas because she's Japanese? Maybe, but it's 200 years in the future. Do the Japanese special forces wear ninja costumes today? I don't know. They might. I don't know.
Maybe she just paying homage to her ancestry.
Her culture. Exactly. And it could be. But you're right. That for me was the only scene that literally moved the plot forward Was like, oh wait, I said I wasn't going to come in. Now I'm going to come in though and get debriefed and get whatever I need for resources to go do what.
And she's like, we'll let the lawyers handle it. Right. He's like, I will kill him. Make sure he gets whatever he needs.
Yeah. That's literally the only thing that moved the plot forward for me. And next week, it's going to be back to Wendy in the classroom with the other kids acting like jackasses with like,
maybe they'll learn to fly. And if you clap loud enough, maybe they'll come back to life.
Dude, we need a Tinkerbell, analogous character. It's missing that, right? And I would love to see Nibs, the one that's broken. I'd love to see some metaphor of her like jumping, like to her death or something. That'd be great.
That is actually a smart thing. Thinking in 3 dimensions here. Nibs, the one losing her mind, where Nibs is the one who lost their mind from the story. No, he lost his marbles.
Nope. Toodles?
Oh, that was Toodles. That's right.
That was in Hook. I don't know how close Hook followed the naming stuff, but it was down in Hook. It was Toodles for sure. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything interesting out of this. And again, the worst part is going to be the ending where it connects directly to the Nostromo. And Yutani's like, "Do we have any ships in the area to recover whatever on planet LV-426? Dr. Evil." Like, it's going to be that.
We're going to call it the Carson Project.
For $247 trillion kajillion dollars. What?
All I wanted money doesn't even was freaking sharks with freaking laser beams on their head.
Freaking xenomorphs in my freaking dude. And that's another thing, dude. One more. Quick. One more. We're going over anyway.
20 seconds. Here
we go. 20 seconds. In the containment bay that has the super engineering junction with all those related systems, why did Petrovich bother opening containment of the eggs if the whole plan was just to land the effing ship in Yutani controlled territory anyway? Like, he didn't know what was in the egg to get into a human host to bypass ICC quarantine that Ripley figured out. That's what Burke's plan was in Aliens. He just knew they had five things. Why go through the hassle of opening the containment? Oh, because we needed facehuggers to be out.
Yep.
That's why. Stupid. Categorically stupid.
He accidentally kicked it open when he was trying to flee, and it just happened to happen.
I can tell you one thing. In 2160, when this show came out, IKEA is still obviously a thing, because literally every piece of furniture and containment shit in this show fucking breaks with the stiff breeze. Like, we knocked a containment thing or a jar off a table, smash. This chick drops one off the top fucking shelf with the eider in it, smash. Like, no, these are hazardous waste and potentially deadly threats. Like when you're moving shit through your secure location, do you put it in a mug? No.
We're just going to park this nuclear bomb over here behind the Walmart. It'll be all right.
The glowy blue thing. The flying one that we haven't seen yet, Pape. And they're leaning on this big.
Yeah, that's next week, I think, isn't it?
It's titled The Fly, so hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to tie it all together.
And to Pape's point, we don't know what the plant does. I'm guessing the snake thing that comes out just grabs you and brings you in, and then you get dissolved like Beastmaster style with the flying bat creatures. You remember the movie Beastmaster with Mark Singer? I bet it's that. Like, it's not. I don't think anything's coming out of that. Like, I don't think it's an egg. I think it's a Venus flytrap situation. It's going to pull you in and acid bath you. Is my guess. But yeah, no, it's supposed to have a flying one, and that's been the rumor since the show, basically, since they had the the press junket stuff that came out before the show dropped, is they kind of hinted at that. So we'll see. All right, dude, let's leave the alien verse. Let's talk about another verse or do the in-between topics, whatever you want to do.
All right. So we're going to hit you with some breaking news. Came out today. So we got a Twitter post from Mr. Gun Him Both. Oh,
if only.
Goldblum to make this better. But we have a Twitter post from Mr. Gunn himself talking about the Superman's new movie, Man of Tomorrow, will be in theaters July 9th, 2027. He's got some work to do. He has some work to do to get it done by then.
Yeah.
Now,
this does not bode well.
If you are not familiar with that storyline, don't worry, not many people are, because it was Superman's first ever digital comic book that came out in 2020 in Operation Stay Home. they released this digital run of the Superman comic book. Now, if I can just pull up,
is that where this comes from? I would assume Man of Tomorrow was a much older project. That's surprising. I didn't know.
It's a digital series from 2020 where Superman fights the Parasite. And he's known as the man who flies at the beginning of it. He wasn't even Superman yet. He's an intern
the whole world
at the Daily
knows
Planet.
He can fly. It's year 3.
Yep, they're probably dead. I'm talking about what the comic story says. What the
I think they just took the name. Is my guess, and I think they took the name because God,
it does have a tie-in to Woman of Tomorrow.
Thank you. Yes,
which has Lobo in it.
Okay, and that's actually what I was going to say.
Probably hunting her down, and it's going to be a showdown between Superman and Lobo.
I mean, I'm down for that. It would definitely be better than the Parasite, because I was hearing rumors that there was a cut scene from this year's Superman that featured hints of Brainiac, and I'm like, sold. Like, give me that. Like, we need that after what I just saw, definitely, because that would definitely warrant Luthor suiting up the Iron Man suit for sure. You know, but the Man of Tomorrow title, I figured they were just repurposing, because you remember the Supergirl movie had that as like its colon title, right?
And which is hinting at the comic story that they're stealing that story from, not stealing, but incorporating.
Right. I had a feeling that's where they went there. But let's talk the time frame on that, dude. July 2027 from the guy that's talking about, well, unlike those other guys, we don't begin shooting anything without a completed script. Good luck, home slice.
Unless he already had it.
Do you think he did? Do you really think he did?
I don't know. I'm not working in his office. I'm not his aide. I don't get his gelatos.
Or his frappuccinos. No, I'm guessing this is a panic response. We're going to jump some hype up because the movie, they try to spin Superman every which way. It's a box office smash at 600 mil. I'm like, dude, just say what it was. It was okay. It was an okay film. It probably made a couple bucks, you know, depending on which version of budget and marketing and all that stupid shit you think. But what I can tell you this is, when we do the thing they hate and adjust for inflation, or take a look at like individual tickets sold, Man of Steel outperformed in both metrics. Measures. How well did it really do?
But there was also a longer period between Superman movies when Man of Steel came out.
You pointed that out. Yeah, fair. You've definitely pointed that out.
So there was a little bit more hungry, and there was so much of the bad press with how they dealt Cavill. But even though they are in serious negotiations, last I heard, to bring Cavill back into the DCU as the man of the Dark Knight, being him as the Dark Knight.
That would be wild if they got him as Batman. Because I'm not even sure I'd want that.
He'd be the first person to ever play both Batman and Superman.
I think a better play there is probably just to bring him back as older Kal-El from like Kingdom Come. People have said that before. I've read most of that book now. I'm almost all the way through it. I think that's just a better fit. Pape says maybe this is like Star Wars stuff. Announcements are free. No one holds into it when they fizzle. Maybe, but I don't know if that works for the comic book movies, because the volume of stuff that they do, like for the big screen, not like the shitty Disney Plus stuff, it's not as much. I don't know if they can get away with that, especially when something's new. Like if these clowns come out and talk about, hey, the time frame is Supergirl, Clayface, Superman 2, Lobo, Wonder Woman, like whatever they do, and then they balk on 2 or 3 of those out of 5, you're crashing consumer confidence at that point.
Yeah,
you know, it just seems like a really bad idea. Just don't announce anything. What did they announce when Marvel rolled out Iron Man? Nothing.
They didn't.
They did a teaser for Thor's hammer at the end. Or no, they didn't. That wasn't even that movie. What was that?
No, that wasn't that movie. No, they hinted at the Avengers at the end of the Iron Man.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Nick Fury showed up.
Yeah, Nick Fury and talked to. He's like, "I'm building a team."
I can't. There was a movie. Maybe it was the Hulk. Then there was a movie where the Stinger scene was Thor's hammer, like in the crater.
I think that was Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it was one of them. I remember. But you know what I mean? But like the early films, they weren't telegraphing 6-7 moves out. You know, that the whole shared universe thing is too bloated. I think Pape's painting them in a dangerous spot for sure. You know, if they talk all this crap, if they do the Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and this chick gets a show, and this dude gets a show, King gets a trilogy, I get a trilogy, and then none of it happens.
By the way, my number is 1-800 to get it right. Go ahead and call me.
We should actually just get that. We should get that number and then like record like a like a team message for it. That way people call it, they actually hear it. I think that would be funny. We should work on that. Work on that this weekend. But yeah, I'm not holding out any hope. If Superman, whenever Superman comes out, I'll see it. But it'll probably be my last dance the new DCU stuff because I'm not really into Clayface. I really don't care about Supergirl. I don't care about Peacemaker.
How do you feel more into my thing that people are reaching superhero fatigue because not one superhero movie broke 700 million in the box office?
Dude, I remember our conversations from earlier in the summer where we tried to predict July, and we were like, it's probably going to be Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. Nope. You fucking invert that completely. Like it was Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. And if any of them it should have been Superman, 100%.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four was always going to fall middling level. Maybe because of fatigue, maybe because of Pedro, maybe the early girl boss rumors might have hurt it. And mostly none of that came to fruition. And even people that saw it weekend one came out and said, Sue gets the big hero play at the end, but it's a family thing and da-da-da.
Yeah,
but it underperformed. Right. Exactly. So are people superhero fatigued? I think, like you said, man, there's too much stuff that I could watch that if something really doesn't hook me, then I don't care. Like I'm not going in for a theatrical experience for no good reason. I just won't. Pape says Fantastic Four is a meh project, always has been. It's Marvel's first family though, and it deserves better than a middling effort. It deserved a better casting. It deserved better intention. It deserved building into a villain. They didn't have to introduce Doom. They've done that twice already, as him being the villain in the movie. Maybe hint at him like they hinted at Thanos and build into that. And then, oh no, I was always working against Galactus. There was a pathway there that they chose not to take, in my opinion. So I don't think we're sick of superhero movies because when they make Batman, I'm there. It's automatic.
So going on a sadder note, we lost. Molecule Man would have been a great person to throw on that. Dude, that would have been a huge play towards Secret Wars.
Yep. Do something basic. Mole Man threatening to sink the city. Whatever.
So we lost a great actor yesterday. You might remember him from movies like The Green Mile, Snow Dogs, Dances with Wolves. He was in The Last of Us as the really awesome couple who deserve their own little spinoff in the Last of Us anthology series that I've been pitching. They were the best couple ever. Kicking Bird.
Kicking Bird. Every time you say Kicking Bird now, all I can hear is Kicking Wing from Joe Dirt. And I shouldn't have made that connection in the somber section of the video, but here we are. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, he passed away yesterday at the age of 73. So I just want to give him a shout out. I mean, he's in a lot of series that, movies that, like, I love Dances with Wolves. I thought that was a great movie. And that was before I really understood what movies were about when that came out. I just watched it. But I was a big Kevin Costner fan back then too. So
the whole world was.
Yeah.
whole world was. I think the thing most recognizable for him is the Green Mile, for sure. That he was the first execution that they did after John Coffey got brought onto the mile, and you get you see his picture there in the top left. You really got the sense that he had felt remorse after he had done his time on death row, and he just made peace with this was going to be his end. I just remember them shaving up the top part of his head and it being super bleak. The Green Mile is a banger movie, man. He gave a really reserved, mournful performance. Good.
Do you know how much Stephen King sold the rights for that movie?
No.
$1.
Dumbass.
He sold it for $1 because he really wanted to be made into a movie and he really wanted Tom Hanks to play the prison guard.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. That movie's a tough sell without Hanks and a bunch of the guards on that cast. I mean, a bunch of them. Brutal, good. The sniper from Private Ryan was good. Frank Darabont favorite, the other older guard that works with the sniper from Private Ryan. That's a Darabont favorite cast. He's in a lot of his stuff. He's Dale from Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. The warden is we talked about him in the Adam Sandler football movie, whose name I'm forgetting already. Longest Yard.
Longest Yard. Yep.
The warden in that movie is the warden of the Green Mile prison there. So there's a lot of good casting in there. Speaking of talents past in the original, yes, we forgot about that one. We did forget about that. I think that was after the show last week.
Yeah, so the original Zod passed away.
Yeah.
Back to the Phantom Zone he goes.
Yeah, I think the actor might have been better than the Phantom Zone.
That's
he might have deserved a better resting place than the Zone.
And then a little bit of good news. Something that's way overdue is Robert Englund. Did I say
England.
Right? England is getting his star on the Walk of Fame on Halloween of this year, which I think fits perfect for his Freddy Krueger persona.
Yeah, I'm with that, man. I think that when we talk about people getting, I feel like anybody gets a star these days, but not everybody really deserves it. We're talking about a guy that put like the most unique, iconic spin on slashers in the 80s, man. Like, well, what are 80s slashers without Nightmare on Elm Street? Like, they're all nobody talking, silent killing machine, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Jason Voorhees. You know what I mean? Like, that's right, he was in V.
Yep, the original 80s miniseries V.
Yep, good call. So, yeah, like, and you can't have that version of Freddy without somebody that's willing to full commit into the measured goofiness that was in the best of those movies, like parts 3 and 4. Like, you have to start menacing like 1 or 2, and then as it becomes a more commercialized commodity, you get into like you're actually the hero and you're there to see the kids get murked. That's 3 and 4. You know what I mean? And then it just goes, and then it's just too much with the rest of them.
He started going towards the comedy in the second one, where he was trying to get the boy to be like him, and he's like, "You got the body," and he takes his scalp off, and
that was a great effect. That was a great effect. But was that comedy, or was that like there was? I mean, obviously that movie has all the reputation with like the homosexual undertones and subtext and things like that. I thought as I've aged, I've always thought that scene was intentionally more seductive than it was trying to be funny. The humor comes in with the one-liners that are just cackling jackassery.
Which was like the third one where he was
starts in the 3. Well, that's Welcome to the Prime Time, bitch, and then he smashes that girl's head.
And then he's like, and when you wake up, it's back in the saddle.
That back in the chair. Yep, that's the 4. That's right, the Wizard Master.
The Wizard Master.
We should do a segment on Nightmare. That's what we should do.
That was Dream Warriors was the third one.
That was Dream Warriors, right? So yeah, like this is a unique and an iconic take. It was a personality put underneath the badass prosthetic burn makeup effects there that nobody else really did for slashers that mainstream like that. And it would have been different without him. You just compare it to the Jackie Earl Haley version you get in the remake. I got nothing against that guy. I thought he was great as Rorschach and Watchmen, but they tried to do it a different way. And despite that guy's chops, the script wasn't good enough. And you miss the old Freddy. You miss Robert Englund. You hope there's a cameo. You know, and I don't know if we get another one. I really don't. It's been 15 years now since the remake.
Yeah, like, we're not getting another one.
No.
Unless they're going to wait like another 5 years and then try to reboot it. And if you do and you want to run a series, I have one for you already written, ready to go.
He did. Call that number. We really need to get the fake number, dude. We put that fake number on the screen.
We could do it like how Bill Murray takes casting calls.
Did exactly. I remember that story.
Yeah. And we'll share that in Retro Watch when we do Zombieland, whenever that may drop. Make sure you stay tuned for our Retro Watch drops this month. They're all zombie themed for Zombie Month.
You realize you just tipped our hand to one of the zombie themed Retro Watches.
Yeah.
But it's not the next one, and that's all that matters.
The first one's already out with Dawn of the Dead.
The second one is pending. The second one's recorded in the pipe. It's ready to go.
Yep.
Monday. We'll put it out Monday for noon. You guys can check that out.
It's probably one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen.
Facts. And long overdue. Let's not talk about it anymore though, so we don't screw it up and jump in and tell people what it is.
But speaking of stuff coming out, we have a new movie dropping this Thursday night. It used to be the midnight release. Now it's like the 8:30 release now. So everyone did to watch it on Thursday night
or something.
But Conjuring, the last rites, the last one in the series. This is going to put
Allegedly.
a nail in the whole Conjuring series. They still might make spin-offs of the other things like the nun, Annabelle, or maybe some of their other spirits that the Warrens battled. But the last one that actually have the Warrens in it is this one.
We had a graphic plan for this, right? Do you have that graphic? It was like,
there it is. The whole universe.
Yeah. So let me start by saying, right, and I see in the corner there, Pape mentions he enjoyed the Dawn of the Dead retro. Thank you, Pape. We appreciate that. We had a lot of fun with that. These retro watches are good. We have a good collection, different tones, but they're all semi-modern for retro watch. So I think you're going to get a lot of consistency in like how things look. The effects are really slapping in all the picks that we have. You're going to get a variety of tones, I'll say. On the Conjuring verse, I've seen, until yesterday, I had seen more of the not ones than I had seen of the mainline ones. I'd only ever seen Conjuring 1, and I think the first two Annabelle movies, no, maybe the second two. I don't think I've seen Creation because I think they're out of order there. I think
This
Annabelle
is
comes home.
This is in timeline of how they what year it was.
So what year it was, first but not what year it came out in real life.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. The Nun was set in 1952. Right. Annabelle Creation was 1955, all the way up into the Devil Made Me Do It in 1981.
So, and then the other mistake I always make with these, because Patrick Wilson is in both, is he's the dad in the 43 Insidious movies, which always throws me for like a curve because like he's the main character in The Conjuring. Cult of Sesamo, Love Dawn of the Dead. Dude, we had a blast, dude. If you haven't checked out the other Retro Watch, check our back catalog. It should only be a few videos back, maybe even only one or two back. We cover the highs and the very few lows of that movie because it was pretty slapping good. I always mix those two franchises up. So what I did yesterday was watch the first three Conjuring movies to get ready for Last Rites. And I know you've seen them. Unlike Alien, you're a big fan of the Conjuring series, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just gonna work that in there. Every effing episode of FrostCast forever. That's gonna happen.
Unlike Alien, I'm a big fan of the Conjuring series.
He likes Alien, guys. Don't worry about it. Not that you could tell by us talking crap about Alien Earth for 45 minutes, but that's cool. What do you think of the Conjuring overall? Drive. You take the wheel. Take the wheel.
So I think the Conjuring, the way they did it and the way they shot it was very interesting. I think capturing the real life, I don't want to say adventures because that sounds like fate, but the investigation and the work of the Warrens is a very interesting take on these stories. Like we've always heard about the Annabelle doll. We've heard about the demon that is the nun. We've heard about this type of stuff, but then to take their life story and turn it into a movies franchise where it doesn't make fun of it, where it takes it serious.
Right.
I think that was a fantastic use of their story. And the Conjuring 2, I mean, they've taken that story and turned it into like 7 other different horror films from the past, but now they actually tell the true story of what actually happened in the Conjuring 2.
Yeah, I remembered most of the Conjuring when I just did my rewatch. Like I said, I'd never seen 2 or 3, and I think I was expecting going in that they would just be largely derivative of part 1. They're not, though. It obviously has the same 2 characters, they're the Warrens, and say what you want about them. I know that the real life versions of those folks, that there's a lot of shady stuff that surrounds whether they were exploiting people, whether they were complete frauds, whether they were whatever your take is on that. The Warrens in this movie are the best part of this franchise for me over anything else. Like it's rare that you get a married couple in modern Hollywood in like a movie that like they're into each other, they have each other's backs, they're super supportive, you know what I mean? They're not afraid to challenge each other at different points, like if they think someone's pushing too hard. So I really like their vibe. And you can tell that real life Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson have chemistry. You know, that they have professionally, they're not married, they haven't dated. I think they're just professionals and they have each other's backs. You know what I mean? And it comes across on screen. Like you believe that they could be a married couple investigating and doing lectures and doing all the things that they do.
Yeah, and a lot of their scripts that they wrote from these are from the recordings that they made while they were doing their investigation. So a lot of the dialogue is based off of a lot of those recordings.
If you stick around through the credits at the end of the movie, they actually play, and you can tell it's on the old, like, this, what's it called? Like stereophonic, like it's all crackly, like it's on old vinyl.
Yeah, it was actually reel to reel.
Oh, tape. Yeah, that's right. It was old tape. That's right. So it sounds hollow and kind of grainy and lo-fi, which was kind of cool. But what I like about the 3 that I saw, and I'm hoping that they continue with this weekend, and we'll figure out if we're going to see it and cover it this weekend. I think we probably should. I think this movie's going to do gangbusters. Early word is wildly positive on the reception. I was down for the twists and turns that each movie took. That the first movie had. It was, the kid in the farmhouse because they bought a house on like the witch's land. That was a thing. Yeah. And then in The Conjuring 2, it was similar, that a family moved into a house where there was a spirit that didn't want them there, but the spirit was being manipulated by something worse.
Yeah.
So there's a twist to that. And then in the third one, it's what happens if an innocent victim absorbs a possession from another innocent to save them. Like, what do we do there? How do we prove that the demonic possession happened if it's already over and moved on? Like, how do we resolve this? And they also, in the third one, up some of the physical threat and the terror, where some dangerous stuff happens to the Warrens when they're away, like the kid that's possessed, they're away from the prison setting. They're investigating with local police, where, what's her name almost falls off a cliff because of the demonic situation there. And they bring in like the shrines and the idols and things. We hadn't seen that before. So they're at least, you know what I mean? They're power creeping a little bit. So I want to see how far they go in part 4.
And then part 3, you did recognize the kid, right?
Which kid?
The kid who got possessed at the beginning.
Oh, no.
He was also in The Haunting of Hill House.
I haven't seen that. I know that's a Mike Flanagan thing, and I should.
Yeah, the kid does a great job of like being terrified and working in those movies. Yeah. For a kid actor, he has some chops.
He's got some good. He had some good body work too, and of course they're not afraid to go CG in this. Like when they're trying to hold him down on the table and he starts contorting, but then literally he folds into a pretzel. I'm like, I don't care how contorted you are, you're not folding that way.
Yeah, Pape, I did hear about that. Matt Wright is the caretaker. He is not the owner. There is a trust that owns it. He bought the rights to be the caretaker of it, and he's working with a couple other people with it, and they're going to turn it in. Like, they're not going to change anything because he's really into the supernatural, and he thinks that what they did should be shared and studied, because he's one of the people like me who believes like a lot of that stuff is true. A lot of the stuff that they faced are real demonic possessions.
Which is all the argument. You need to burn that museum to the ground.
So he wants people to see so they don't make the same mistakes. But he's also thinking about like having the house where he could like rent it for a night, like sleep there.
He'd make gangbuster money with that.
Yeah, but he's not the owner. There is a trust that owns it all, that it's responsible for all the artifacts inside. I think it's one of the local churches.
Makes sense.
Especially the one where what Ed Warren preached at. Yeah. But Matt Wright is the caretaker. He cleared that up in his TikTok video when he announced that he took it.
Is the Oracle still with us?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Could she cue up the Ripley and Hicks cut? Because as far as that museum goes, that's what I would say to that. Cue it up. Want to see it.
Say we take off, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Dude, fuck that museum. I'd go in there with a bucket full of napalm and have at it. There's no dude. He keeps all that shit in his home office behind a door with a $3 padlock on it. A $3 padlock.
It has 4 locks.
Dude, I don't do it. Sure. Listen, unless the 4 of them have been sanctified by like a shaman and a priest from every faith on the planet we can find, and he's going in there with silver bullets dipped in garlic infused holy water. I don't care how many locks you got. It doesn't matter. You don't keep all that shit in one place. It's a stupid ass idea.
So you did hear that the Annabelle doll went on tour before the Matt Wright thing. And did you notice that every state that it went in, there was a fire, there was a massive fire, there was a massive shooting, and and for 48 hours the doll was considered missing.
It was missing. Dude, do I have to play the clip again on a loop? I mean, it's getting late. If she's still here, the Oracle can run the Ripley clip again. Dude, burn the doll. It will burn. If it's overseen by proper priestage, it will burn. I assure you.
Say we take off, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
It's the only way to be sure.
Have you seen what the real Annabelle doll looks like?
Yes, more like an old Raggedy and Andy doll, right?
Yeah, has these big like eyes and like it has the yarn
mostly
hair.
It's fabric too. It's not
it's all porcelain. Fabric, nothing porcelain.
There's no porcelain to it at all. And again, that's artistic strokes to make the movie because that doll's not scaring anybody.
And that's the most famous thing that's in there because, of course, they made the 3 movies. Plus, there's been so many other movies that's hinted at that doll, but that never actually used the real name of it. So yeah, that's the most famous thing in the museum. But there are so many other things, like a mirror that can show you the darkness of your soul.
I mean, Harry Potter did that too, but. You know, if you want,
but this isn't real life. This isn't in over there in Hogwarts.
But I was at Hogwarts last summer. What you talk about? Not real life. I've been there twice in 2 years, but I had to take the freeway to get there. What I love about this franchise, and I know you're a big show plotting guy. So here's the pitch with this work. Instead of worrying about churning out more movies, like if this is the final, why don't they go anthology with just Ed's Office? And give you a TV show that like something like Cabinet of Curiosities or Friday the 13th did this back in the day, where like each week they've got an object from that effing dump of an office and they're following a cursed object. Or even if they wanted to spin one of them into a movie, I guess I'd be okay. But I wouldn't need any continuity. Like I wouldn't need the Warrens investigating each one. It could literally just be the story of the haunted grandfather clock. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, okay.
So more Friday the 13th without the hunting part. Because if you didn't know, back in the 80s, there's a show called Friday the 13th where a bunch of people who controlled a museum with a vault that was spiritually locked could pick it up and they would get these type cursed objects and put it in there. We should look that one up. We need to find that one.
That show is remarkably difficult to find. I've tried at different points. I haven't tried in a while, and streaming does shift around.
Yeah, I might have to jump on my my old Haji shops and over in Pakistan and see if we can find this thing.
It take a bit from the Friday the 13th show. That's deep into like single digit age years. I'd have to go back and
I'd have to go back. I just remember the show and what the premise of the show was because I thought it had to do with the film franchise and I was completely wrong.
Right, and I think a lot of people got that wrong the same way a lot of people went to Halloween 3. Season of the Witch. We're like, oh, Michael's back. Michael's not back.
No, Michael's not back.
Now, interestingly enough, Halloween 3 has come across my idea board a couple of times over the last month because I've thought about a new playlist where I've told you about it before, where we do like either the shark jumping entry in a movie or we do a retro watch, but like a second chance. That's today's idea. Like a movie where we give something a second chance, not like a retro watch of something we hadn't seen. Like, oh, I haven't seen Terminator 3 in 15 years. Let me give it a second chance. Does it still suck? Let me go take a look. Halloween 3, I'd like to take a peek at that because I think in a vacuum, watching that without the expectation that Michael Myers shows up, I think it tells a fairly creepy story about some weirdo toy factory owner who hates kids. So he takes a shard from like Stonehenge, does some druid magic, curses all these masks, and then all these kids' heads turn to bugs on Halloween when they hear a certain song in a commercial. Like there was a lot of cocaine in Hollywood back then. That's for sure. That is Season of the Witch. That's a fact. That is a fact, Pape. But I've never seen that one because growing up in the era, like when I was finally old enough to like watch slashers or then rent these things or catch them on, like we're always talking about Ron DeShear and Gilbert Gottfried on USA Up All Night.
Mm-hmm.
They never ran Halloween 3 in those spreads ever because they knew. You're getting your ad revenue based on people watching it for Michael. And he's not, it's not even that he's like sidelined and he's just not there. Like it's not a Strode Michael Myers story.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a Halloween story.
Well, and because that was Carpenter's intention for the franchise moving forward. It's like we told the Laurie story. Did it though? Did it? I don't know. I mean,
tell you the truth, I watched it once a long, long time ago. And I couldn't tell you if it sucked or not because I probably wasn't paying much attention.
Now I'm not trying to put a number on him, but I get the feeling Pape is a couple of years older than the both of us. So he might have been old enough to have seen it during the timeline that it came out and been wanting more of Michael Myers. He wanted the shape. He wanted the kitchen knife. He wanted, hot ass Jamie Lee Curtis running around in a nightie. I don't blame him. You know what I mean? And then he didn't get it. Okay, thank you, Pape. Dude, I wasn't going to put that up on the screen on him. I was just going to tell him thank you for disclosing the age, and the Oracle just totally doxed your age. My apologies. That's a free month membership for Pape going forward. That's what I'm saying. So you were old enough to be there and probably want more Michael, and you didn't get it. But when was the last time you watched it? That's why, my man, he Aunt Care. All right, I Aunt Care either. And now I'm just poking fun at typos because that's what we do. I want to watch it in the vacuum now that where I haven't seen it ever. Can I just judge it for being an 80s flick on its own and being something goofy like Creep Show or something? Because I love me some Creep Show.
Creep Show was like great.
Creep Show 1 was great.
I love Creep Show 2. The Indian
2 and 3 didn't hit for me. It was all right. They scalped that guy. It happens. That was some terrible acting by the old man that ran that store, though. You got to admit that. He was just bad. He cashed the check. Cashed the check for eyes in the back. And then
the hitchhiker story.
Dude, but the screaming. See, I don't like loud noises. It's the same reason I don't like the Babadook. It's why we'll never do that on this channel. That kid in the backseat, like, listen, I'm sorry for your disability, kid. I can't listen to you scream at me for an hour and 45 fucking minutes. I can't do it. I just can't.
Loud noises.
Can't do it.
I don't even know why we're yelling.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Pape says Halloween 2 scared the crap out of me, so 3 was a huge disappointment. I can see that. Okay. If it's completely just tonally not going to do it, it's not going to do it. That would be the trick there. But yeah, I think that sorry, Coldest Esmo, I have not yet. It is on the list.
I have started it. I think I'm through episode 2 of it. So
where was I supposed to find that? Where did you find it?
I believe it's on the Prime.
Got it.
Remember,
I've watched like 7 movies in the last day and a half, so I will now make some time to watch this.
And remember that we have to take a moment of silence on Prime Day and know what it's really about. HBO. Oh, thank you for correcting me. But go back with my story. Like, we have to remember what Prime Day is all about, and rest in peace, Optimus Prime.
Until all are one, yeah, dude, of course. No mistake. Matrix leadership. Creep Show Vampires, good, solid entry. I like Creep Show with the kids on the raft. I think that's the best big net in any of them.
And that was in 2.
I love that one. Wasn't that? Do I like 2 and not 1?
Yeah, 2 was the kids on the raft. That's what opened Creep Show 2.
Oh, never mind. Then that's the one I like. Yes, the Oracle does have her own tag now, because I was sick of looking at my name on the screen and thinking, did I type that or did I not type that? And we were kind of just sharing one. So she has her own, but you might still see me pop in as Winterwolf Prime, depending on where we're signed in. But yeah, I think that I wanted to go back to the Conjuring thing real quick to just kind of talk about that idea, because I think that we've seen that office now in every movie. It's tangible in that universe. It's there. It's consistently the same. Its shelves are full of those kind of items: music boxes, clocks, toys, ceremonial daggers, like satanic effigies and all kinds of stuff. I think that they would be wise, super wise, to focus in on more of that stuff and maybe just have like a voiceover that has Patrick Wilson reading them in and doing. I don't think they need to be in every movie.
I got it.
Then it becomes the same.
No, I got it.
Here we go.
So it starts off with them looking,
you do.
2 priests looking outside of the house, and they go in. This is right after Lorraine Warren passes away, and they're taking an inventory of that office, as the trust says. And
solid.
As they do each one, you have a young priest, and then you have like a bishop, or a higher priest, or like Monsignor. And then he says,
and then she used my sign in to thank you for the idea. Oh, sorry. And canceled. So Monsignor signing off.
But then they go, and then the young guy's like, what is this? And he explains what the Warrens did, what the room was. And then he starts writing down, and he's telling the story of it. And then it cuts into the video or the episode.
Yeah. Perfect setup. And you could do other stuff from there too. Like, we know their daughter, or I don't know if in real life the Warrens had a daughter, but the movie characters had a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
by the end of part 3 looked like she was 16, 17 years old. So depending on where part 4 picks up in their timeline, I don't know anything about where it does, because they bill this as literally the last case that they investigated in real life, I think, right?
Yeah, because it took too much out of both of them.
Right. Anyway, we had seen the impact that it was starting to have on both of them in part 3. Like, dude had like 4 heart attacks in that movie.
Yeah.
You know? And like her psychic powers were starting to take a draw on her too, and like laying her up and doing the Stranger Things nosebleed and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. The Oracle. Oh, look at this. We got a wrench appearance. That's right, wrench. I forgot it was there.
Yeah, she got the wrench.
Oracle WWD. She got the wrench. She's not afraid to use it. There we go. I think that there's latitude to go places in ways that are more uniquely positioned than something like Paranormal Activity or something like Insidious. Like I feel like each of those things is like a one-trick pony. Like Paranormal Activity, you go in, you sit down, you eat your snacks, you get comfortable, and then nothing fucking happens for 50 minutes. And then finally the cellar door opens. Finally a drawer opens, a tennis ball rolls by, and then nothing happens for 20 more minutes. Then you get your super large, all the silverware falls from the ceiling, crashing sound. That's not fear for me. That's startled. You know what I mean? If my dog barks unexpectedly, you're startled. It's nature. It happens. It's not fear, you know? And then you get some convoluted ended about there was an entity in the house and it killed this dude and possessed this other dude. And that's it. But that's all they can do. Insidious is the same way. There's the red-faced demon and he's basically Jason, Freddy, whatever. But The Conjuring has multiple characters. It's got all the artifacts. It can lie to a degree about it's based on a real case findings thing. And that always hooks people, no matter what, whether you believe or not.
Based on true events.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like I think that there's a mechanism for these movies to remain interesting and profitable. And that's the thing, too. Like, I don't want to see them devolve into... there's a lot of CG in part 3. The crooked man, like the thing that comes out of the kid's music box, the slashes on the wall. Like, pump the brakes with that stuff. That's how your budget goes from $1.25 to like $175. And do you really want to be in that neighborhood? No. I mean, we'll check box office when it comes out this weekend, and we'll let you guys know how it does. But I mean, if they keep coming these in at 125, 140, you know, they tend to have $100 million, 5-day weekends. Like, that's a good place to be. And you know, their digital video on demand smokes, like it cooks. People love this shit, you know? So
people love to be scared.
Yeah, dude, they do. And I think that the scares work better when it's something that you walk away still thinking about when the movie's over and you're driving home in the dark. And did you check the back seat? You know, like once Paranormal Activity is over, I'm like, okay, what's the tension? Like the loud sounds have stopped. You know, like I'm good.
More of mine's like, I did do that shot. I know how they did that shot.
I figured. And that's the tricky part there. But I mean, even The Conjuring, for as much as I kind of just glazed it a little bit, like their approach. I mean, they would consider it a style. I would just consider it like a shooting approach, like you just said. Like it's starting to get a little long in the tooth. Like we're conditioned now as audiences that if your character is front and center in the screen, and any camera movement is slow panning in any one direction, we're expecting the misdirection that follows that. We're expecting there to be something behind the kid when the camera comes a full 360, or when they spit out toothpaste into the sink and they come back up and somebody else is in the mirror. Like the old dogs aren't learning the new tricks over there. They're really going back to those same typical shot selection, I'll call it. I'm not a technical guy for the industry, you are, but I feel like they do a lot of the same stuff. And one or two of those a movie is good because that's your signature. Like in The Conjuring 2, when the girl gets magically teleported into the locked room and her mom's trying to like break the door open to get her out, the girl's face is in that dark spot where the door is open slightly. And then all of a sudden the spirit's face comes in over hers, like above it. So you get the yellow eye, it's a startle, it's a scare. But they do that in like every other Conjuring also, or a take on that, where it's like you're looking into like a hole in the wall and then bam, red eye. Like, red eye, you know what I mean? It's like that's their play. But you got to come up with a new one though, like for part 4, for part 5. You just can't keep going back to that because then it does get stale. And then you're just retreading ground. All right. Pape says there are a few ways to do a horror movie, psychological films like The Shining, probably most impactful, then films like Halloween, Friday the 13th. I agree. And everything in between that we're always talking about here in genres, like creature features. Like a good monster movie can work. You know?
Yeah, there's also what they're currently in, because like we had that whole phase of zombies. We had the phase of vampires, and then we got I think we're in a phase of psychological horror, or like real horror, where normal people are higher. Yeah, and then you get into the supernatural, and then you go into another phase of going back to slashers.
Yeah.
So it matters what phase of horror we're actually in at this point. And with that, right now we're at a good point. I'm ecstatic about this year. Just so many good stuff has come out. Like we had a lot of like Together, Bring Her Back, Weapons. We have the Conjuring Last Rites coming out, which they're never bad movies. They might not be the greatest horror movie of all time, but they're not bad movies, and they're fun to watch. A lot of people like the series. And then we have a new horror going into a Jordan Peele type horror, where you have Him, where you have a guy who wants to be the greatest quarterback of all time. What would you sacrifice? Then you have Stephen King, the master of writing horror, doesn't know how to end it, and he has The Longest Walk coming out. Then after that, I think we have one more big one. Oh, The Strangers, Chapter 2, where we went back.
Slashers.
Yeah, which going back to the slashers. This year's been a cookie cutter, not cookie cutter, a cracker jackbox type of surprises. Yeah. And I'm really excited this year. Next year's looking a little bit lower. Looks like next year's gonna be a lot more superhero type films again. But I was really happy with what we've seen with the horror films that come out this year.
I think you're onto something there too. I think the reason we're getting new things now, new types now, is because I think that the execs that okay and greenlight some of the mainstream stuff have realized that we're probably at the end of that phase of the ghost story stuff. You know, like Paranormal Activity has done its 10. You know what I mean? The Conjuring has done its 4, and then it's expanded shit. Insidious, like I said, I think is on like 5 or whatever they're on. The biggest thing in horror, like up until this year, is Art the Clown, because each one of these movies gets made on a shoestring budget and then dominates horror conventions, dominates the Halloween season, and just expands. Now you're selling merch and costumes and this and that.
And the main thing is because that's new. It's a new slasher. Right. It's not bringing Jason back. It's not bringing Freddy back. It's not bringing Michael back. It's not bringing Shocker back. It's not bringing Ghostface back. It's something new. Something
they're bringing Ghostface. That'll be 7 will be in there next year.
Yeah, for sure. 7 will be out there next year. I did see that.
Yep. Pape says, guess what? Just told. I'm thinking of The Shining, American Werewolf in London. That's a banger. The Thing, which we've covered on the channel.
Yes, we have.
For sure. But I don't want those remade. This is what I want. I want Hollywood to find a whole big mountain of cocaine, use it all, and then just innovate like they did in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like none of the schlop that comes out today works without every single one of those cornerstone IPs that came out in those 3 decades. None of it.
Go out to the woods, take some ayahuasca, and go on a vision quest.
Somebody should, because I think that kind of the kind of creativity that they lack, it stacks on top of they're looking for the ROI, they're risk averse, they're all those things. But then somebody like Damien Leone comes along and does Art the Clown. It's not for me. I read you loud and clear on that, Pape. Like, dude, I'm not, dude. I watched. I'm on a channel now called Dead Meat. It's a great channel. They do kill counts. And the guys are pretty funny on there, right? And like him just walking me through in 15 minutes what happens in Terrifier 3. I'm like, not for me. I don't need to see that. I don't need to wish I could unsee something just so I can see how good a practical effect of somebody being cut in half could be. Like, I'm all set. Exactly. I think Aaron Rodgers might want to put it down for a couple of minutes. I mean, there are limits to what I'm authorizing for cocaine in Hollywood. There are some limits, But like,
well, at least we're not talking about his what was it? His 2 weeks and nothing but darkness retreat. Yeah, it was complete darkness that he stayed in. I think that was 3 off seasons ago.
There's no shot he did that. The psychological damage there would be like irreversible, 100%. Like when you're mentioning things like you mentioned American Werewolf in London and The Shining, right? I think out there's a book that somebody's written in the last 5 years that has a killer ghost story concept, like a Shining, or a werewolf story that's rife and ready to be adapted. I think that there's millions of spec scripts out there that people write about werewolves and vampires and all kinds of crazy shit. You know, and I think if we're coming out of one trend like King Z was talking about, where we're out of ghost stuff and art's emerging as like the slasher king, I don't think the whole industry goes slash. Because honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot of stomach out there for that to be mainstream.
But I mean, they tried to bring the Fisherman back this year with I Still Know What You Did maybe last summer, but the summer before that.
It was no. It was this one guy that I used to know whose friend I went to school with last summer killed a bunch of people because reasons that I saw. Did you see that dumpster fire, by the way?
I did not see it.
Did you catch up with that on is it on Netflix? Can we get an Oracle check on that?
It might be a Tubi movie eventually.
Because not for nothing, Superman made it on a video, premium video on demand, 35 days. If I Know You Did Last
and that
summer,
was the
remake
plan.
Is not there yet.
James Gunn had that as a plan to get it out to more people so he could build his universe faster.
That's a damnable lie. I'm not saying he didn't say that. I'm saying that's stupid and that there's no way that was intentional. That's damage control. That's how I read that. But yeah, I want to see where horror goes next, because I think you're right. When you have things like Sinners, Weapons, Substance together.
I totally forgot about Sinners.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So it's basically vampires, witches, weapons, right?
Yeah.
Substance, body horror, and together body horror. And I don't know if there's Substance is a scientific thing about the medicine she takes that allows her to regenerate or shed or something. I haven't seen it, but it's science, I think.
Yeah, bring her back is like demonic.
Bring Her Back is demonic. But there's all of these things that are all over the place, and any one of them, if it hits, if Weapons hit, Barbarian hit, that dude himself might be able to spearhead. We should have filmed that skit.
I'm sure glad you brought that up, because the only way to see that this week is if we fly all the way to Vicenza, Italy, and watch it at a film festival. It is still set to come out in November, actually, on the Netflix.
We did a painstaking amount of research after the show when you got our hopes up and said it was coming out this weekend, and it was not.
We were going to shoot you a little travel video of us packing our bags and have the beret on.
The hat was like $30, dude. Once I saw the hat, I was like, all right, the skit's a funny in concept. I'm not buying 2 of these. That's not happening. Can't do that. That's right. Oh, I forgot to get King Z's. I forgot to get the King Z word count mix up. I gotta get that loaded. Tell them about all the Korean names that you can handle. Yeah, sorry about that, Paper. It was bad news for everybody because we were really looking forward to that. Yeah. I want to see where horror goes.
Yeah, but my Korean names were on point. Let me tell you,
they were. But we're not going to tell you why he knows why he was saying a bunch of Korean names. You'll have to just wait. It is not. Unless you pull up a screen cap right now. Send that.
It might be in some
Twitter.
Other country that
Possibly.
we do not know of. So if you have a VPN, you might be able to watch it.
Probably in Italy or somewhere EU. Maybe that's the thing. But I'm not having my Netflix on a VPN, so I will not. So no, you don't have to get Netflix back because F them. You don't need to spend the $20 a month to get 4K digital shit on Netflix until it's there. There you go. Yeah, so we should definitely see The Conjuring this week, I think. I think it's going to do gangbusters. Oracle says it's there on November 7th. For sure.
November
That's
7th.
their banner. Okay.
I need to put that onto the calendar.
Please do. So we'll have to break into our retro watch zombie month because The Conjuring obviously doesn't count as zombies, but it's going to be big horror, and we're here to talk about that.
That would fall into our normal movie review for new releases, just like we do show ones. Which
it won't have the retro watch thumbnail or anything like that. You guys will see when you see it.
Which is great because it's zombie month, and what's released this month? Marvel Zombies. Happy coincidence.
Happy coincidence. Did you see the trailer for that by any chance?
I did.
I did too.
It looks kind of good.
I knew you were going to say that.
4-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
The comic book was a banger.
One of the comic books was a banger. There's multiple. And the problem is this one's not adapting the one you're thinking of. I'm almost sure of that. I'm calling this one now. I'm calling this one DOA for one simple reason. It's they're putting all 4 episodes out at once.
They are putting.
Not a good sign for their series stuff.
Whenever another great one miniseries would be animated in their What If series.
What's that?
Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Oh yeah. And I guarantee you, if they ever had the stones to adapt that, weekly release. You know what I mean? Like, I think that someone was saying that in the Marvel the zombies trailer, they put Blade front and center.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, but it's not Mahershala Ali doing the voice.
Nope.
I checked into that, and then they were saying that it looks like it has a lot to do with Miss Marvel. And I was like, okay,
no,
I didn't see the trailer.
Get that vibe from the trailer.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to take a peek at it then, because that was my concern. Like, did they put Blade up front knowing that's what everybody wants, and then switcheroo Miss Marvel, what are the Black Panther guards called? Zombie Cap looked dope. What are the Black Panther female guards called? The Dora, is it the Dora Milaje, something like that?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, the Okoye and you know the Spears, the Walking Dead chick, like his personal bodyguard. Then it looks like it's a them kind of movie. And I'm like, that's not I have the hardcover edition of Marvel Zombies. I don't remember them being in that. So, you know, maybe it's Marvel Zombies 2 or 3. I don't know. But I'll take a peek at that. And then the only other thing I just wanted to let everybody know, because if they had the Dora Milaje, thank you. Sadly, Mortal Kombat 2 been delayed. Not by a month, not by 2 months. Next May, like the end of May. That sucks, dude. I had my heart set on that for next.
Going for first month of summer movie release.
You said that the other day, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm gonna be following them fan sites close, because I really think some test screening shit went wrong. Hey, I'm with you.
Just don't fall for that clickbait.
I mean, I'll send all the good stories by you anyway. But I mean, I just feel like when the Prime article I read mentioned that it was actively trying to not compete with, like, I think it was a JFK biopic coming out that weekend, and I'm like, that's not a competition. That's too complete. That'd be like them rescheduling because they don't want to go up against Minions 5.
No. Wait. They can be paid off by other movie theaters to give up their slot because they don't want the competition.
I mean, that's fair. But again, if you and I did a JFK documentary, are we afraid of what Mortal Kombat does to the box office? No.
And I want more people to see it, because if you only have money to go to one movie that month.
Yeah, but that's the Venn diagram of people that are going to see Mortal Kombat versus the people that are going to see a JFK documentary. That intersectional piece is narrow AF. You know what I mean? I look at it more like a Barbie and an Oppenheimer situation. They each were not giving a fuck about the other dropping that weekend. You know, speaking of video game movies, Paramount, dude, I saw that and I had to call my doctor to upgrade the Depakote for the seizure I was having in progress. Needed to be done. As if you do. We already been on an hour and a half. Here it goes. As if these assholes didn't do enough damage with Halo, they want to take a crack now at Captain Price. Really? You want to take a crack at Ghost? You already ruined fucking Master Chief. You already ruined Reach and ODST. You fucking clowns want Call of Duty? Are you high? And I heard on top of that The Rock is in the running to be cast as Price, while Jason fucking Statham and Gerard Butler aren't just sitting around waiting for that role. Dude, these
I don't think The Rock is ready for that. Have you seen recent pictures of The Rock?
Looks terrible. He's definitely off the juice. The Oracle says the first movie with microtransaction. Like, if you want the ending, it's $3.99. Yeah.
If you want to see the ending with him in a Beavis and Butthead skin, $3.99.
Somebody made that joke earlier. You can see Roger from American Dad coming in the mech suit, but like animated.
Yeah.
Pape says it's the Ellison Paramount, not the old school regime. Dude, I don't care. I'm not willing to let him have it. I'm not willing to let him have it. No, Call of Duty does not need a film. I'd want to see a Gears of War. Dude, and Netflix is up for Gears of War. Netflix is up for Gears of fucking Wars. If there's a movie that I don't need Netflix doing, like, you guys have already botched The Witcher and Resident Evil and whatever other ones I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Like, no, stay away from shooters. Dude, unless you're getting a bunch of dudes that grew up with those games and love them for what they are, you don't need the writer's room from fucking Agatha all along writing your Netflix Call of Duty or Gears of War movie. You just don't. It's not the right thing. The King and I would not write you your adaptation of whatever fucking Harlequin romance novel your mom reads at the beach. we would not take that job. I would not take the job. Maybe
I mean, if they paid me,
dude, I still wouldn't, because I'd be like, dude, have you read 40 of these books this year? No, then we're not the right people to write that. We're just not. You know, and that's the problem we're in with fucking media right now. We just get the wrong people to create it, and then they reserve the right to be pissy when we get upset that it sucked.
I mean,
stay away from Call of Duty. Stay away
the
from
jet still cashes.
Yeah, dude, but I'm not there to ruin somebody's to piss on somebody's barbecue. I just can't do it. Dude, we went really over time today, but I had a blast.
Yeah,
I'll just say
fun. It was fun.
It was definitely had a good rip at Alien for sure. Dropped another drink, broke the glass.
Did not break.
Oh, so it's more stable than every container in Alien Earth.
Yep,
you're saying the parasites did not fall out of your
creatures.
Cup. Yeah, these fucking people again with the IKEA glassware just shattering. I bumped it off the table. I got a tick in my face now. No. A-holes. Dude, guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We're almost up over 600 subs. So if you're listening and you can hear me and you haven't subbed, maybe give it a consideration. If you got a couple dollars in the pocket burning a hole, maybe become a member for a month and check out some of the non-live content. We are ramping that kind of stuff up. There's a lot coming out with Retro Watch that we were talking about earlier. It's our zombie month heading into spooky season. So we got a couple of things there. Dawn of the Dead is our first entry. We've got another one coming out on Monday. We're not going to tell you what it is, though. Just keep your eyes open and maybe hit that notification bell for Monday around noonish. That's usually, I think,
poll results before we go.
Poll results. Forgot about that.
See, this is why we pay her the big bucks.
That's right.
All right, so here comes the poll results. Close that poll. Close that poll. Close.
I think that's how that goes.
We had a total of 7 votes.
Nice. Which was like everybody that was here when we did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, here it is. And the results are The Conjuring getting a whopping 42% of the vote. Insidious got a 28% of the vote. And tied is Other and Paranormal Activity at 14% of the vote each. Did
anybody comment on the Other? Or was it just an Other vote, no comment?
I think it was a Other vote, and I did not see their comment.
Oh, bummer. Interesting. Hey, thanks, Cold Assessment. Appreciate you being here again, brother. Thank you very much. And hopefully we can continue seeing you on Wednesday. You know, get the rest of the free company to get us on in the background. Drop a couple of comments. It helps us out. We like getting those voices going because we typically like to have a topic or two that we build the show around. But then the conversation as the show's grown over the last 6 months in particular has really let us become more flexible and fluid with what we talk about when we go. Yeah. And the banter between us and you guys and each other between me and King, it really it benefits greatly when people give us stuff to like kind of vibe with and vamp off of.
Yeah, so I did 3 inches for life back in here too.
Hello.
That was the name of our clan in Call of Duty.
Ouch. Maybe we would call that like 9. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Tenney and Iowa. That's my war squad.
Couldn't hurt. Yeah. Start a new job Monday. I'll start pumping the show. See what happens. Hey guys, I'm new here. Follow my channel. Then I won't be here anymore.
Start handing out business cards with the channel with QR codes to the channel.
Just the logo and the QR code on the back. Yep. That's kind of sick. We should probably just have those. Put them under wipers. Do some really shitty stuff like that to people.
Do it at movie theaters.
We appreciate YouTube. Definitely, for sure. All right, dude, it's late. I got to see what's going on upstairs. I hear kids that aren't in bed, and it's way too late for that on a school night. Read us out of here. Oracle, thank you. Pape, thank you. Cold Assessment, thank you. Anybody else that I missed, thank you very much. And King, get us out. We got to go.
Hit my music.